Hi book nerds, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a sequel to my All Things Kindle video where I shared a bunch of my favorite tips and tricks. That video seemed to be really helpful to a lot of you, so I figured I could share even more. So my first video, my All Things Kindle video, I went over just some of my favorite settings and tips and tricks for setting up your Kindle to be personalized for you regarding fonts and things like that. I also did some Kindle decorating and Kindle Unlimited browsing. So if you're interested in that video, it'll be in the card and linked down below. But for today's video, I just wanted to share even more tips and tricks. There will be no repeats in this video. So if you don't see something or if you have a question about anything else, feel free to watch that one as well. Just like the last one, I do have multiple parts here. So all the chapters will be down below so that you can skip around for your convenience. If something doesn't apply to you or if you just want to skip to one specific tutorial, I will have everything linked below. Part one is just going to be the basic tips and tricks for settings. I'm going to give you a view of my Kindle. I have the Kindle Paperwhite. Part two is just some more kind of hacks and tips regarding actually just using your physical Kindle. So things for like better accessibility, more personalization, things like that. And then lastly, I just have a few tips I want to share on how to send things to your Kindle and kind of manage your content and devices, because there are a few parts of that that can be a little bit tricky that not everyone knows about. So without further ado, we're just going to jump right into this because I have a lot of Kindle stuff to cover today. If you like holding your Kindle in one hand and you weren't aware, you can actually just swipe right or left to turn the page. You don't actually have to tap on the right side of the page or the left to go forward or backwards. You can simply swipe. You don't have to actually go into the font settings to change the font size of your Kindle. Similar to like an iPad or an iPhone, you can actually just pinch to zoom and you can increase your font size. If you don't want the cover to be showing on your Kindle for privacy reasons, maybe you're in a meeting, on a bus, something like that, all you need to do to hide the book cover without turning the Kindle all the way off is just hold the power button at the bottom and click the turn screen off. You'll just get a nice blank screen. You can also take a screenshot on your Kindle. Say you want to save a passage to reference later, you want to use it in a book journal, you want to save it for school. To take a screenshot on the Kindle, you can just tap either opposing corner, so either bottom left and top right or vice versa. At the same time, you'll see the screen flash a little bit. And to grab that screenshot, it is a little more complicated. You have to actually plug your Kindle in to your Mac or your PC, and you can pull out the little file folder here. You can either just search for screenshots or you can navigate to the folder that will have all of your screenshots there. If you want to go back in the book somewhere and kind of reference a page but you're not exactly sure where it is, maybe like a map in a fantasy book or character art, to get a nice grid view, you just simply swipe up and then click this little grid view option. You can see the multiple pages here. I feel like this just is an easier way to kind of go back and reference something. Commenter on my last Kindle video actually mentioned this one to me, so I wanted to give them a shout out and thank you for bringing this to my attention. This is the page refresh. It's a very minor difference, but it does kind of just have that little bit of a millisecond of it clears the whole previous page, so it's just a little bit sharper. This is under the reading options, which is a little bit more difficult to find now, but if you just go up to the three dots to your settings and then go to your home and library, that's where your reading options is. And then under reading options, you'll see page refresh, and then you'll want to refresh the display with every turn. This is also how you turn on your vocab builder. Something that I did not know until I started messing around with a lot of these settings, trying to find every single thing that they hide in here, is that you can actually save custom presets for whatever reason. Again, when you're in a book and then you just tap kind of at the top, you hit that little A button, it'll bring up your themes. So if I was to go and change the font, go back, go to themes, save current settings, I could make a separate theme. I think this would be especially helpful if maybe at night you like your font to be a little bigger, or if you're walking or at the gym, you might want to have like a gym preset to have your text just be a little bit bigger because it's further away from you. Maybe you want to set it into landscape mode so that you can set it up on a treadmill, something like that. I think that would be really helpful. Another interesting hidden feature on the Kindle is you can actually reset the reading time, just in case maybe you left a book open or something. You might notice that when you are reading a Kindle, it'll give you the time left in a chapter or a book. Again, that'll be in the last video. You can kind of look into some of those different settings. If you're in a book, you can actually type into the search bar, and if you type in ; reading time reset, capitalizing each word there with no spaces in the search part and then press enter, it won't show that anything is coming up, but that'll actually tell your Kindle to reset the reading time. Just make sure that after you do that, you jump in and you read at your current pace that you want the Kindle to be tracking, and then it'll give you a more accurate reading time. That is it for the settings, tips, and tricks. I think that pretty much covers a lot of the most popular, kind of sought after customizations that you can make for your Kindle. So I hope that helped. We're going to jump right into part 2. Something that I briefly mentioned in my last video, but I did not go into it at all. And it is something that I see quite a lot of people wanting to do and asking around on the internet, so I figured I would add it here. I'm not going to go into a full in-depth tutorial, but I am going to give you the basic rundown of the 5 steps you need to do to add a custom Kindle lock screen, so that when you close your Kindle, put it on sleep mode, instead of just seeing the cover of your book or the generic Kindle lock screen that they have, you can actually have it be set to something cute and custom. Now, you do need an ad-free Kindle for this. You also do need to have the setting on so that when your Kindle is in sleep mode, it shows the covers of the books. You can find that under settings and then screen and brightness, and then make sure you have the toggle on for show the covers on lock screen. You can obviously create your own, which is what I did. There are also people who are selling these online as well. Just keep in mind, this is something that you have to have open to be showing the cover of the book. It's not actually a custom Kindle lock screen. I think a lot of people kind of false advertise that and bet on people not really realizing that. So just be aware of that. It's kind of a workaround, but it's not that difficult to do. All you need to do is just create the graphic in something like Canva or Illustrator. I personally am an avid Canva Pro user. So you just need to make something with the dimensions of 1080 by 1440. That's very important. I would also suggest, unless you have the Kindle Colorsoft, I cannot speak to that, making something with a black background and very bold, simple text. You can see that I just am throwing together something here very quickly. I would just suggest something pretty high contrast so that it looks better on the Kindle. Once you've created your design, you just want to save it as an image, a PNG, a JPEG. Next, all you need to do is go to convertio.co. Don't worry, this is very safe and reliable. I use this literally all the time. It just converts file types for you. There's a limit of like 10 a day or something for the free version. Convert it to an EPUB file. You're not quite done yet. They kind of make it difficult. Then that's now an EPUB. So technically it's like a book, right? When Kindle wants to open it and read it, but you need to set that image as the cover of your EPUB. So to do that, you have to go to another converter website, onlineconverter.com. It just looks like this. Very, very simple. All you do is upload that EPUB file that you just converted. And then for the EPUB cover, upload the picture. So the PNG, the JPEG, whatever it is. Just go through the steps. All you need to do is download it, and then you will have an EPUB with your design as the cover. Lastly, you need to get this onto your Kindle. There's a few ways you can do this. Amazon actually has an entire landing page on their website where you can literally just drag and drop files to send it to your Kindle. You need to be logged into your Amazon account to do this. Keep that in mind, the Amazon account that's associated with your Kindle. You can also send it to your Kindle via an email. I will be getting into this into the last part of the video, but these emails that you're using to send things to your Kindle are very important. They can't just be any random email. You have to be sending it from an authorized email on your Amazon account. I will show you how to do that here in a little bit. And you need to make sure you're sending it to your Kindle email. You can find your send to Kindle email in the settings. Just go to settings, your account, and at the very bottom, it'll have a send to Kindle email. You just need to make sure it's that specific Kindle email that you're sending it to. Now, if you purchase one of these, you don't need to worry about all these conversion steps and things like that. All you need to do is the very last step, which is just getting it onto your Kindle. We will get to that in part 3 if you need help with all of this email kind of Amazon technicality. It can kind of be a pain to navigate. So we're gonna get into that in part 3. You can do a very similar process, creating a similar size design. You can print it out and then you can cut it out and put it on the back of your Kindle. Just slide it in between the Kindle and your clear case. It's a very easy way to customize it. I personally like to just use stickers. Another tip, instead of sticking the stickers directly on your Kindle or on the Kindle case, lay them on the Kindle and cover them with a clear case. Don't remove the adhesive, anything like that. They're reusable, they're not sticking to anything, you can change them out anytime you want. That is one of the most game-changing things that I discovered when I was figuring out how I wanted to customize my Kindle. If you want to get a Kindle insert, I think they're a lot easier. The Kindle inserts are really fun in my opinion because they kind of give you that like scrapbook sticker look without having to buy a bunch of stickers, lay them all out, whatever that may be. If you have a Canva, this is really easy. You can do it for free. There are a lot of really cute options again on Etsy. Right now, there are so many cute Christmas ones out there. I might actually get some for myself here soon. Those are just easy ways to DIY yourself or just support a small business very affordably and customize your Kindle. I really like doing them seasonally for all the different festive colors and themes. There are a few little accessories that I do think can really enhance your Kindle experience, especially for someone who suffers from any kind of pain from holding a Kindle. I think these things just make it a lot more accessible. So the first one is any kind of Kindle stand. Doesn't have to be Kindle specific. You can get an iPad, phone stand, any of those kind of plastic, wood, what have you, that you can just prop up your Kindle. So you're not having to hold it in your hands, I think is really helpful. I have one of those for my iPad. I personally like to just hold the Kindle in my hand, but for long periods of time, or if you're sitting at a desk, it is really nice. Or if you're a multitasker and you're reading while you have something going on in the background, gaming, show, whatever, I think it's very nice. Similarly, the clicker page turner Kindle device things have been very popular recently. Again, I think that really helps for accessibility purposes if you have a hard time holding it up in front of your face. But especially too in the winter, if you're cuddled up under a blanket, you don't want to have your Kindle and your hand sticking out. Another option where I think if you do like to read your Kindle at the gym, then having the kind of clicker in your hand while you're moving around and then having big text on your Kindle on a stand or something, I think would make it a lot better of an experience. Another accessibility feature for the Kindle, the new Kindle versions do support text to speech. Just kind of look around, look for your Kindle specifically where that might be. Also, a lot of Kindle ebooks do offer audible narration. That's kind of specific to the book, but that's something to keep in mind when you're browsing the Kindle store. See if it has an audible narration included. You kind of get bang for your buck there, and then you can also listen to it. Kindles are Bluetooth compatible. You can connect your Bluetooth AirPods, wireless headphones. You can also buy Kindle adapters if you want to plug in a standard headphone jack into that for accessibility reasons. They do offer those. They're like $5. So you do have options when it comes to accessibility with the Kindles, which I think is great. Now, lastly, we're getting into the kind of technical nitty-gritty parts. I wanted to leave this to the end because honestly, if you're not planning on sending anything to your Kindle, doing the custom lock screens, anything like that, it's probably not going to apply to you, but it is something that I find kind of just technically annoying. So if you are having trouble with this or you don't know where to find these settings, this is how you're going to basically manage the content on your devices and send any kind of PDF or EPUBs to your Kindle. So sending EPUBs to your Kindle is actually quite easy. They offer a few different ways you can do this, whether it is a file you have created yourself, you received an ARC, you're buying ebooks from other sources that aren't Amazon. Amazon does support this and allow you to send these files to your Kindle. There's just a few steps you need to take to just ensure that you're not getting any malware on there. They want it to be from a trusted source. They want to make sure it's you sending things. So again, this is really helpful for like studying or work if you need to send yourself lists, graphs, images, reference text, things like that that you want to reference on your Kindle that aren't a traditional kind of novel. This might apply to you. So Amazon actually has an entire landing page on their website that it's dedicated to the send to Kindle option. So make sure you're logged into your Amazon account that's tied to your Kindle, and they have a very simple drag and drop feature here where you can just send files to your Kindle this way. I personally have never done this. I usually just use the send to Kindle email. So I will have this linked below, but you can also just Google Amazon send to Kindle and it's gonna pull up this landing page for you. On this page, they also will let you know all of the different file types that they accept. Something to note that I think is recent with the kind of new Kindles and the updates to their terms and their firmware and their software is that Mobi files are no longer supported on the Amazon Kindles. So your best bet's usually going to be an EPUB. That's just what I use for any of these kind of things. So this send to Kindle email, I think, is a more kind of phone, tablet friendly option if you're not someone who's really on a desktop. So there's two parts to the send to Kindle emails that you need to be aware of. One is that you need to be sure that the email you are sending the documents from is an authorized email in your Amazon account. You can't just like send it randomly from a work or throwaway email because Amazon wants to ensure your data is protected. Any random email can't just be sending stuff to your Kindle. And 2, there is a specific send to Kindle email. You can find this again by going into your settings and seeing it, or it's also listed in your Amazon account. Every single Kindle device has a specific send to Kindle email that's unique to that device. So you can change and access both of these from the same place in your Amazon account settings. Go on the top right corner of your Amazon account. Under your account, you can go down to devices or content. Either one of those will get you to this same page. And then up at the top where you'll see device content, you just want to click preferences. So if you just scroll down a bit past some of this other stuff that might be helpful to you, but for purposes of this video, it is not. Editing Becca here, I just missed one little step. So when you're under the device and content management and you go to preferences, you need to scroll all the way down and you need to go to personal document settings. Then under personal document settings is when we're going to get into all this stuff. First, you'll see the list of send to Kindle emails. If you just have one Kindle, it'll just be one email. And then if you just go over to the right, you can select edit, and then you can actually customize the send to Kindle email. Keep in mind, it's always going to be a @kindle.com Kindle specific email. You're not using your personal email here. I find it to be helpful if you just do something that you can remember. It does need to be a unique email. Don't put like your full government name, something that you can remember. And then if you save those changes, that's now your send to Kindle email. So just think of it as your Kindle's email address. And at the bottom of this page, you will see approved personal document email lists. Again, these are emails that you are telling Amazon are safe and approved. These are your emails that you can receive documents from. So this is where you can go ahead and add your personal emails. So you won't be able to receive any documents, any EPUBs, anything from any email unless it's in this list. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, but I do find that this is kind of a hidden thing that they don't really explain very well. And it's something that you do need to go into your Amazon account specifically, not just on your Kindle to change these settings. So it's something that I wanted to put in here because it does apply to some of the other customization tips that I provided in this video. So lastly, for kind of content management account things, the last tip is just that you can connect your Goodreads account to your Kindle as well. I have this, I find it really handy. All you need to do is just go on your Kindle, go to your settings, go to account, and then at the very bottom, you'll see connect to Goodreads. And then you can just sign in with your Goodreads credentials. It will connect your Goodreads to your Kindle so that when you start a new book on your Kindle, you can choose to mark it as currently reading. When you finish the book, you can rate it through your Kindle right there on your Goodreads, and they're linked. If you weren't aware, Amazon did acquire Goodreads. So Goodreads is an Amazon-owned company. So the more you know. That is going to be it for this Kindle tips and tricks video. I hope that you found it useful. Thank you so much for watching. If you missed the first Kindle video, I again will have it linked below. If this video helped you, please give it a like and subscribe if you are so inclined. I would really appreciate it. I will catch you in the next video. Happy reading.